brotherly love, Philadelphia, host of the NCAA Championship Tournament in this, the bicentennial year. To get to the Final Four, Indiana had beaten 3 of the nation's best teams in the regionals, St. John's, Alabama, and Marquette. Next up for the Hoosiers, UCLA, the defending champions and winners of 10 of the last 12 NCAA championship tournaments. Indiana and UCLA had met in the season opener. Indiana won that one easily by 20 points. Bobby Knight knew that the Bruins were much improved this time around.
The game started out with both teams going at one another pretty hard defensively, and I think the game settled down very early not to be a game of offensive thrusts and a lot of scoring.
Bobby is right. It was a game of tough defense, like this key matchup between number 54, Kent Benson, and UCLA's number 31, Richard Washington, the outstanding player of last year's tournament.
No one expected it to be that easy this time. Even though Quinn Buckner scored off the opening tip-off, it was evident the Bruins were primed for their best effort of the season. In fact, before the Hoosiers could score again, a bucket by Benson on a feed from May, the Bruins had scored 7 straight points for a 7-2 lead. But when the going got tough, the IU team seemed to perform at its best. Patiently, methodically, they pulled their pressuring defense even tighter, which resulted in a UCLA turnover. And even when the Bruins weren't committing damaging floor errors, they found penetrating the IU defense was almost impossible, which oftentimes resulted in low percentage shots. And in classic Knight style, while the defense was stifling the Bruins, the offense was asserting itself. Benson, May, Buckner, and the unheralded duo of Bobby Wilkerson and Tom Abernethy were giving the Hoosiers a balanced scoring attack. The Hoosiers crept back to tie it at 15-15 and then moved ahead at 21-19 with 7.5 minutes left in the half. It was a lead IU would never again relinquish. By halftime, the Hoosiers had rolled to an 8-point lead at 34-26.
Abernethy also found time to do a few other things. He rebounded. He passed off. And he also scored himself, finishing with 10 points to lead all scorers at halftime. Another key Indiana performer against UCLA during the first half was number 42, Scott May. Scott poured in 4 important baskets near the halfway mark of the first half. Just look at the skill of this 6'7" consensus All-American. Bobby Knight says May is the best player he's ever coached. He says it comes from hard work, sheer hard work. That's why he's so good. Scotty can do it all. Indiana led at halftime, 34-26. The Hoosiers played an exceptionally strong first half. Twice they had to overcome 5-point UCLA leads, and they played magnificently on defense. As a result, Indiana did not have to make many adjustments at halftime. Early in the second half, Indiana opened up a 12-point lead on Quinn Buckner's driving layup. Without question, Bobby Knight was delighted.
The very beginning to the very end of the ball game, Bobby played the boards, I thought, better than anybody in the game.
That's for sure. Watch number 20 closely as he soars, pulling down rebound after rebound with those long arms. Against UCLA, Wilkerson dominated the boards. He got 11 rebounds in the first half, finished the game with a high of 19. Equally as powerful and effective on both the offensive and defensive boards. Here, Wilkinson misses a shot, battles for the rebound, and then scores. He's fouled. And that just about clinches it. A 3-point play, giving the Hoosiers their biggest lead of the game, 45-32. As the game progressed, UCLA did manage to catch fire. They cut the margin to 48-42 with a little bit over 8 minutes to go. No doubt about that. It was a crucial play of the game. The score, once again, Indiana 48, UCLA 42. The Bruins had momentum. They were shooting 42% from the field compared to 30%, a cool 30 for Indiana. Watch this play develop now. Slowly, the Hoosiers work the ball. Abernethy just gets a step on his man at the baseline, and he's got it. And unfortunately, on that play, Abernethy injured himself.
And as the two teams lined up to start the second period, there was an air of confidence glowing from the Hoosier squad. It wasn't cockiness or arrogance, but rather the self-assured look that a team has when it knows where it's headed. With Bobby Wilkerson controlling the second half tip-off, the Hoosiers quickly upped their lead to 12 points. Twice the Bruins fought back within 6, but time and time again, the precisionally fine-tuned IU attack came up with the big play that broke the UCLA dynasty. There were many heroes during the 65-51 victory, but the two standouts, perhaps underrated all season long, were Wilkerson and Tom Abernethy. Wilkerson turned in an incredible rebounding performance, grabbing 19 boards from his guard position while passing out 7 assists. But Abernethy, who gave IU coaches and fans a scare when he collided with UCLA's Richard Washington and came up holding his knee, was even better. Given the difficult assignment of defending the 6'11 All-American Washington and giving up 4 inches in the process, Abernethy shackled the Bruin and held him scoreless for over 25 minutes. In addition, Aber scored 14 points and hauled in 6 rebounds, a one-game performance that ensured his selection to the all-tournament team.
So off the bench came number 45, Jim Cruz, a 6'5" senior from Normal, Illinois. Indiana always had good bench strength all year long, and Cruz certainly proved it in the final minutes. As you can see, Indiana goes into the delay game, and it was Cruz who directed the Hoosiers down the stretch. Here he's trying to set up Kent Benson. And just watch this pass. He rifles into Benson, who is all alone underneath the basket. There it is. Only a few seconds remained as UCLA brought the ball down court for the last time. The Hoosiers had stopped the Bruins cold. UCLA would not be in the finals for only the second time in the past decade. It was a total team effort for the Hoosiers. Indiana had used only 6 players against UCLA, and each really contributed. Benson, May, Abernethy, Buckner all scored in double figures. Wilkerson had 19 rebounds. And credit Jimmy Cruz with some flawless ball handling. Having disposed of UCLA, the stage was now set. Monday, March 29th, Philadelphia Spectrum, Indiana against Michigan.
Board clock ran out the final seconds. Knight ordered the spread-out offense, an effective IU weapon all season long. It produced the basket that gave the Hoosiers an insurmountable 10-point lead. Executed perfectly as Scott May broke loose to take the pass from Jim Cruz that meant 2 points and victory. The UCLA myth was destroyed. For the second time, the Hoosiers had crushed the Bruins, and now only one game remained